During the late 1980s, the coolest thing in the world was undoubtedly ninjas. Just like cowboys in the 1950s and TV presenters who abused children in the 1970s, there was something about the stealthy assassin that caught the zeitgeist for kids of a certain mullet length. I mean, who could blame them? Men silently killing feudal Japanese warlords thousands of years ago while wearing dark pyjamas was obviously going to end up as something that children would love and take to their hearts. Especially when you combine their law, the law of the ninja, with that of adolescent reptiles that normally move like piss-pant-wearing pensioners. But that's a story for another day and another series on this channel that I'll get to eventually. No other method of entertainment was exposed to shuriken shithousery more than video games. Be it as hamsters or mounted on a BMX like they were on the 8-bit computers. They were bloody everywhere, and in the world of video games there were two particular franchises that stood out more than any others. Those being Shinobi and Ninja Gaiden. Both feature protagonists who are lethal ninja star throwing bastards. Both pitted their skills against street thugs, other ninjas and mystical otherworldly forces. Both were mostly fantastic too, both in terms of quality and sales, with only a couple of missteps along the way, and both got to the point where both franchises evolved and continued several console generations later. So it's no surprise that Taito wanted some of that ninjutsu pie, and they put their plate on the table and went, give us some, with their effort, Wrath of the Black Manta for the Nintendo Entertainment System. But Taito couldn't be asked to make a game from scratch, so what they did was they went to Japanese developer Kyogo, who had made a game called Ninja Cop Saizou, and then they localised it. Now, localised makes it seem like they just, changed a few subtitles here and there, but Saizou is massively different. Bosses, cutscenes, levels, backgrounds, plot, the finale, even the animation of the character himself, all altered. Music completely different. The aesthetic of Ninja Cop Saizou was definitely anime inspired, and it was this look and feel that Taito completely ripped out and replaced because they felt it wouldn't sell well in the West. I think we can all agree that is something that they wouldn't do today because, weebos are as common on the streets of Delaware or Paris or Reading as Labradors or bus stops. Does Black Manta suffer from all this alteration, all this change? Yes it does. Make no mistake, Wrath of the Black Manta is a weird game as a result of these changes. The parts are incongruous with each other at times, massively so. Take this bit. In the Rio stage on Ninja Cop Saizou, you go through this door and you face electricity pylon created Death Beast. I mean, that's pretty weird. Nothing too weird for a NES game though, and it certainly fits within the world. And if I lived in a world where, say, stuff from 8-bit console games was a day-to-day occurrence, I could go into this lockup and I could see this electricity beast and think nothing of it except intense fear. And if I chanced upon this electricity bunyip in a Brazilian lockup, well, I'd either run away like a coward or I'd fight it using ninja magic, and I will win. I probably wouldn't, would I? In Wrath of the Black Manta though, when you go in here, there's a sacrificial altar, a mountain with a skull on it that looks like it was drawn by a potentially sociopathic 10-year-old. Someone keep an eye on whoever drew this. I'm worried about them. And the boss itself is a Baron Samedi style voodoo priest with 0 frames of animation, because of course there is. But that is enough of the regional differences for now, although they are integral to why the game feels weird and why it doesn't quite work. Wrath of the Black Manta probably owes more to Shinobi than it does to Ninja Gaiden. Sure, it's got the famous Ninja Gaiden cutscenes, including this keen-eyed fucker. Allegedly, this character here was nicked from an art book from Marvel legend Stan Lee, and I can kind of see he's got that kind of 70s art aesthetic to him. But the movement and structure owe more to Joe Musashi of Sega's franchise than Ryu Hayabusa. There's none of that Gaiden wall jumping chicanery here, but there is Shinobi-esque magic, and you do release kidnapped children frozen in ice, obviously. But don't feel you need to free them, as this doesn't alter the ending or change your progress in any way. So leave the little bastard frozen there in that block of ice. Hypothermia will take him out eventually anyway. Can we just take a moment though to look at one of the most memorable video game bosses from my childhood, please? Meet Tiny. Part of the localization changes, Tiny is a huge man indeed, isn't he? What a brilliant design. Tiny can now be found hurling white plastic furniture at major international football tournaments, and he doubtlessly has a fading tattoo of a knight holding a St George's Cross decorated shield somewhere about on his person. Tiny, you are a legend. The reviews of the time, well, Me Machines, our good friends from the UK, said that Black Manta is a pretty good Shinobi type game and should be enjoyed by ardent beat-em-up fans. However, these decent features are let down by naff in-game graphics, the sprites are awful and the animation is poor, and the rather average sound. They gave it a 73. Electronic Gaming Monthly, well, they gave it a 62 and said Wrath of the Black Manta is not a fantastic game, but action fans shouldn't find this title disappointing. How do I feel about Wrath of the Black Manta now? Well, I have a nostalgic love for it, in all honesty. It's a horrendous mess in terms of its design, as its localization was always going to result in. Hell, he doesn't even wear black, does he? But full marks for his Steve Harrington hair mounting quiff, though, that can be seen at the climax of the game. Wrath of the Black Manta is a pauper's Ninja Gaiden, accounts this state Shinobi, but it's not awful. It's just average. I think average is sometimes okay. Wrath of the Black Manta suffered a little bit when I played Revenge of Shinobi on the Mega Drive for the first time the following Christmas, for sure, but that's hardly fair. With this one game done, the Manta disappeared back into the shadows, never to be seen again. Perhaps now people are wearing ninja masks in public. Maybe ninjas are making a comeback, and maybe we will see the Black Manta again. Yeah, we won't. That's not going to happen. Okay, thanks. Bye.